so bad. And I would cry because, like, why don't you want to drink? Especially because it's the same thing that I would give him in his bottles. So what? I read you fell in love a couple times. Tell me. Oh yeah, okay, pause. Welcome back to another video, y'all. This video is long overdue. Not like super long, maybe just almost 3 months. Stick about it. All done. Maybe just like 3 months or so. But that girl postpartum. Oh my gosh. So this video, first of all, before you do anything else, I need you to stop what you're doing, okay, and go subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? Why aren't you a part of the family yet? You have to subscribe, y'all. Like, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. In this video, I am telling y'all the real, the raw, the uncut of postpartum. What people don't tell you before you become a mom. Or some people might have told you, but they only gave you the little, you know, short and sweet cookie cutter version. They didn't give you the real, the raw version. And your girl right here, I got your back. I'm gonna give you the real, the raw. These are things that I learned, which, I mean, some of these things I knew a little bit prior because I do have experience and I did work in early childhood education. But some of those things, or some of these things, you really just learn by being a mother. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I'm just going to read down the list. I'm going to really try not to yap too much because some of these I could just go on and on and on and on and on about. So first things first, postpartum is not going to be easy. It might be one of the hardest things you have ever done besides actually giving birth. Like, postpartum is going to seriously be like a roller coaster. 1 minute you might think you're okay, the next minute you don't. 1 minute you think you're perfectly fine, the next minute you're ready to scream. Postpartum is definitely, it's not going to be a one trip destination. There's going to be so many turns and going backwards, going forwards. There's going to be so many things along the way. And even if you feel like you're perfectly fine, that doesn't mean you're going to stay that way. Like, something can always come up when you're dealing with postpartum, like, seriously. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to affect everybody differently, because first, let's get things clear. Everyone says, oh, I experienced postpartum. Okay, postpartum what? Because postpartum is simply just the period after you just gave birth. The time frame after you gave birth. If you have given birth, you are automatically in postpartum. Automatically. But there's things that come under the umbrella of postpartum. Postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum intrusive thoughts, rage, all these other things. There's things that go under that branch. Postpartum is just the general name. So when people say, oh yeah, you know, I experienced bad postpartum, postpartum is the entire thing. So you can go through different things with under that branch of postpartum. So like I said, there's really different things and emotions and things like that that you can deal with. And it, like I said, it's not a one-stop shop. Even if you think, okay, I'm perfectly fine, when you're 3 months postpartum, 6 months postpartum might hit differently. Why is that? Because your body is continuously going through changes of trying to get itself back together. You just held a baby in your stomach for 9 months, and your child is also growing and going through different things through that entire time too, that can also affect your postpartum journey. Next, do what's best for your baby. please, please, please do what's best for your baby. You're going to get advice from your mama, from your grandmama, from your auntie, from your sister, from your brother, from the doctor. And granted, definitely please take advice at your own will when it comes to medical professionals. But sometimes some medical professionals do not always have your best interest at heart, or they treat one child as if they're the same. Not every child is the same. Not every child needs the same exact response to care, I should say. Every child is going to react differently. And so a lot of times doctors generalize, and that's not always in the best care or in the best outcome for the children. So definitely when it comes to unsolicited advice, like I said, from your family, from friends, no, we are not doing the unsolicited advice. I don't care how y'all did it in 1930 and 1876. We not doing none of that. I'm sorry, we're not doing that. Now, it is definitely okay for people to take some advice, but at the end of the day, it is their child, so they can do whatever they want to with their child, as long as it is in the best safety and all those other things for the child. Like, obviously, let's use our brains here. As long as the child is safe, as long as the child is healthy, fed, in a safe environment, all these things, then of course, you know. But just because someone says, oh, well, with my child, I did X, Y, and Z, does not mean that you have to do that with your baby. You do what you want to for your baby. You are the person responsible for raising that child. And not to mention, what helped Sally Mae's kid out might not help your kid out. Like, everyone's children responds differently. So don't think, oh, like I said, when your mama or auntie or whoever tells you, oh, well, when you were kids 20, 30, 40 years ago, this is what we did. Like I said, some things and some methods are tried and true, but some things, it's okay to switch it up. Again, times are different. These are different babies. My son that was born in 2025 was not me. That was born, you know, almost 28 years ago. All right, next up, like I said, when you're talking about postpartum, there's different things under that, specifically like depression, anxiety, rage, them intrusive thoughts, all those things, the mood swings. For me personally, that postpartum rage beat my entire booty. And I feel like postpartum rage isn't discussed that much because I feel like people automatically think and assume the worst. Just because you're dealing with postpartum rage, one does not mean you are over here throwing stuff all up and through the house. Like, that's not what that means. And it also doesn't mean that you're acting out on those things too. To me, it felt like I'm easily frustrated when SJ wouldn't go to sleep, when I know he was tired, when I'm up with him in the middle of the night, I'm frustrated because go to sleep. That might result in me crying and him crying, and we both just crying looking at each other. Like, it looks different for each people. It might mean that your patience used to be up here and it's now down here. Like, your fuse is a lot smaller and you're getting a lot snippier with people, maybe your spouse, your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever. You're getting more upset with these people when usually you would not, and usually you have like a bigger fuse. And that's what postpartum rage looked like for me. I just felt like sometimes, like I said, especially when SJ would not go to sleep or for a period of time. And if you've watched, which you should, of course, if you've watched more of my videos and you've seen the health issues that SJ dealt with, SJ has a heart defect. And with his heart defect, and when they let us go home from the hospital last year, we had to do this interstage program where he had to eat and drink a certain amount of milk every day. And we had to track how much milk he drank every single day. Every single day. We had to weigh him every single day. So if he was losing weight, we had to track that. If he was gaining weight, we had to track all of that. So they really wanted him to drink pretty much every ounce of his bottle, especially in those first 4 to 5 months. And SJ, our child likes to do his own thing. So SJ liked to be difficult for his mother because, you know, that's how some babies are sometimes. And when he was supposed to drink his milk for me and nobody else was home, his dad, my husband, was not home, he would not drink his bottle. He did not want to drink his bottle for his mother. Why? I don't know. I don't know. And because, you know, we spent all the time in the hospital, I wasn't breastfeeding that much. And even if I did breastfeed or nurse him, I could really only do it in between because, you know, you can't count how many ounces a baby just got if you just, you know, nurse them. So I would be so frustrated because I'm like, you have to drink your milk. You have to keep growing and everything like that because we had to prepare for the last surgery. He did not want to drink his bottles for me at all, like at all. So he would cry, I would cry, we would both just cry. I would just get so frustrated and I would just have to walk away. I would really just have to walk away because I was so frustrated. And as soon as my husband would get home and feed him the bottle, he would drink it without a problem. Oh, it just gets me emotional just thinking about it. Like, that's a lot. That is a lot. And I know I'm not the only. You okay, Stinks? It was a lot, and this is exactly why, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later in the video, why I believe it is so important to be careful, one, just having kids in general, and two, like, once you have had a baby, that first year, it is very, very, very easy to get pregnant again. And that's how people end up with 2 under 2 and, you know, Irish twins and all that other stuff or whatever. You have to be very careful because for me, after dealing with the postpartum rage and things that I dealt with, I just knew it was not. No, I said another child, not no time soon, baby, not no time soon, because I just keep thinking back to the moments where he wasn't drinking his bottles for me and mentally what I felt like that did for me, and it was just a lot. Like I said, emotionally, mentally, it was literally just a lot, and I definitely need a break. I can't. I am not made for the back-to-back lifestyle. I need a break. I am grown enough to admit I need a break, and that's perfect. That's perfectly fine. Like, don't let people pressure you into having another child, because as soon as you have a kid, they always ask you, oh, when's the next one? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? When's the next one? Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, what are we actually talking about here? Like I said, that postpartum rage for me, it definitely hit more than the depression and more than, I definitely did have the anxiety too. I definitely did have the anxiety. But I feel like I felt the rage more than the anxiety. I feel like my anxiety prior to getting pregnant but once I got pregnant, it definitely, like, and I feel like it calmed down just a little bit after I had him, just a tiny bit. It is definitely important to have a good support system who is very understanding and can, like, tag team when you need to and just give you a break, because moms deserve a break. Moms deserve a break. Like, seriously. Next up, breastfeeding. Oh my goodness. Woo, Jesus, Lord have mercy. So like I just stated, I didn't get to nurse him all the time, and I will say that I did mourn and am still kind of mourning that, because when I see people talking about just be able to, you know, pull your boob out and just nurse and not have to wash all these bottles, I wish I could have had that. I truly do, and I really hate for myself that I didn't get to have that experience, and that I had to be somebody that had to wash bottles. And SJ, after he was 4 months, he literally would scream and cry when I would try to get him to latch. No joke. He would scream and cry like my boob was like the scum of the earth. Like, how dare you try to feed me from that filth? Like, and it would make me feel so bad. And ooh, it would make me feel so bad. And I would cry because, like, why don't you want to drink? Especially because it's the same thing that I would give him in his bottles. So it really messed with me. Even, like I said, even now I'm still like kind of mourning it just a little bit here and there, where I see other people that, you know, get to experience it and get to, I don't want to say have it easier, because breastfeeding is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But like I said, the endless time we spent washing bottles back to back to back to back to back, like, oh my gosh. But I am very proud to say that I did get to experience pumping and stuff for 13 months. Yeah, I got to experience pumping for 13 months, which means that I got to provide, you know, great nutritious breast milk for SJ for 13 months, and I'm very proud of myself. And fortunately, but unfortunately, because he spent the time in the hospital, I did get to create like a freezer stash, which helped when my supply would drop here and there, which helped when, you know, trying to wean him off of breast milk and get him onto regular milk. So I will say that I am blessed in that aspect, because a lot of people don't have or aren't fortunate enough to have a freezer stash, and I was, thankfully. But pumping is a whole nother beast. Every 3 hours, like clockwork. And with pumping and breastfeeding, you have to feed yourself. You have to feed yourself. And I will say a common misconception is breastfeeding like drinks and snacks and stuff like that. I don't really think that stuff works. I think it does work for some people, but not for everybody. So people are spending so much money trying to increase their supply, but I'm telling you, I was pumping every 3 hours like clockwork from the time that I had him until I started trying to dry up my supply. And my supply never increased because of it. I will say sometimes when I would drink electrolytes and hydrate properly, that would sometimes help. Or if I went a period of time and I didn't eat like I was supposed to, that did kind of make it go down a little bit. So I just would say nutrition is the most important when it comes to like what you're eating, what you're drinking, all those things or whatever. That is the most important when it comes to like your milk supply. But I don't think a particular supplement or food or whatever is what really controls your supply. Power pumping, I do think that kind of helped, because towards the end, my supply was trying to dry up, and that would get somebody down. That I done shedded one too many tears during breastfeeding, because I would pump and I'm hooked up to the machine for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and barely anything come out. And I'm just disappointed because I'm supposed to be feeding my baby. So come on, like I need y'all to work. What's happening? I need y'all to work. Yeah, breastfeeding is no joke. I definitely understand why people don't do it. And why people just choose to formula feed. I just wanted to personally, you know, breastfeed or whatever. And if I do choose to have it in the child, I will, you know, do the same thing again. Financially also, my pockets wasn't ready to be buying formula every month. If I needed to, obviously we would make it happen. But I was able to, thankfully, breastfeed for, like I said, 13 months. Almost 13 months. I think that's when he officially got off of the breast milk. Weight loss. Oh my gosh, speaking of breastfeeding and weight loss, when people say, oh, you're gonna breastfeed, oh, you're gonna lose weight, first of all, that is not all the way true, and I wish people would stop saying it. I wish people would stop saying, oh, well, all you gotta do is eat right, all you gotta do is do this, all you gotta do is no, everybody's body is different. Stop trying to tell somebody what their body's supposed to do. Like, that junk is so irritating, especially because a lot of people who I've heard breastfeed and lose all the weight, as soon as they stop breastfeeding, they gain the weight back. So what good was that supposed to do me? But for me personally, I lost the first maybe like 4 or 5 pounds after I had him, because I only gained like 10 pounds when I was pregnant with him. But I had him, I lost a few pounds, and then that was it. Baby, I'm still sitting at 222. I just started seeing changes in my body once I stopped breastfeeding, and then continued with the eating properly and the workouts and exercises that I was doing. But when people just automatically think because you breastfeed that it's just supposed to magically make you lose weight, false. That is false. The cap on this app, that is false. I wish people would stop saying that. That is so frustrating. Everybody's body is different. Like, I know, and I've seen a lot of other people not able to lose weight until they stop breastfeeding, which makes sense because your hormones are all over the place. So of course they might not know what to do, even if you are doing the right workouts and eating correctly. I was never just like stuffing my face. I've never been a stuffer of the facer. It's not even a word. I've never been that type of person. Like, I've never been the person to just eat junk. I don't buy junk. I don't be having the funds like that to be buying a bunch of junk. But either way, my eating has never been seriously unhealthy for that to have been the cause. So for somebody to try to say, oh, well, all you gotta do is eat right and blah blah blah, no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. So that is definitely something that I feel like you do not hear when you're dealing with postpartum. They just say, oh yeah, you breastfeed, you're gonna lose weight. Or you see a bunch of people saying, oh, or I had my baby and I snapped back. Is a snapback in the building? Because it's not. And I'm not really a big fan of the term snapback, because even when I lose all the weight that I want to lose, I'm never going to look how I did before I had him, because like, my body has changed. My body has held a human being for 9 months. My body will never be the same. So this is a body rebrand. My body is rebranding to its new self. Like, I'm never going to be the Airica. My body's never going to be the Airica's body post or pre-baby. It's not going to be that. So I'm okay with not snapping back. Now I will say it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, baby. It's a lot of work. But it will definitely be rewarding once I finally reach that goal and see what I can accomplish. Because if I can accomplish carrying a baby for 9 months, I can accomplish getting all this weight off. It might take some trial and errors, but it's going to be okay. And I'm going to get there because I know I can. Period. Kids grow different. And I mean grow as in like intellectually, milestones. And I will say it is very hard not to compare. It's very hard, especially when you're surrounded by other moms. It can be hard to not play oh, my baby's doing this, my baby has 4 teeth, my baby has 5 teeth. You know, it's very hard to not do that. because of course everyone wants to feel like their child is excelling and their child is just doing, you know, great things. But every baby is going to grow differently and at their own pace, and you can't rush that. Like, you have to let them develop and grow and learn and explore how they are going to. Not every baby is going to walk at 12 months. Not every baby is going to walk at 11 or 10 months. Like, not every baby's gonna walk at 13 months. Like, it is okay, and you're not doing anything wrong as a parent. So don't let anybody make you feel like you're doing anything wrong if your child is not meeting those milestones. Everyone's baby is going to do stuff differently, and that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay. Like I said, when it comes to teeth, crawling, walking, all of that. And I do have to give myself that reminder sometimes, because sometimes I will see myself comparing myself to somebody else's child or whatever, but I have to stop doing that, because SJ is more than amazing, okay? More than amazing. And he's not meant to be like other children, and other children aren't meant to be like SJ. Every child is meant to be their own individual selves, point blank, period. Advocate for your child. I kind of talked about that briefly when I was talking about people giving you advice and stuff. Definitely advocate for your child when it comes to daycare, when it comes to doctors, all those other things. And when we talk about children not all developing on the same wavelength or the same time frame, I guess you can say, some doctors will make you feel bad about it, and some doctors will kind of make it seem like, oh, your child needs this, needs that. Now, there's nothing wrong with needing extra services and PT and OT and stuff like that, but not every child needs it because they're a few weeks behind. So don't let the doctors make you feel bad for that. If you're trying to tell your doctor, or your pediatrician, oh, so-and-so is feeling this type of way and I don't know if it's normal or whatever, and they try to brush you aside, get a new pediatrician. Don't let nobody play with these kids, man. Like, no, advocate for your child. Even if you have to change pediatricians more than 2 times, do what's best for your child. If you feel like that doctor is not looking out for the best interest of your child, switch him. Get them out of here. Get them out of here ASAP. No Rocky, okay? We don't have time. You have to advocate for these babies, because no one else is going to do it if you don't. Like, you have got to. And that starts from the moment you push them babies out, or you get them babies cut out of your stomach. Advocate for your children. Seriously. It is so important. I don't care what nobody says, but postpartum does not end after a year. No. I don't know who told you. I don't know who started that lie, but it does not. It does not, okay? It does not just end when your baby turns 1 year. First of all, your body, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the studies say your body takes at least 2 years to kind of get back, like, hormones and all those other things or whatever, how it was after it has a baby. So you think postpartum is supposed to stop? No. So that means all those things that you dealt with early on, they can still try to creep up after a year. Now, again, everybody isn't the same. That's not going to happen to everybody, but it definitely still can. So don't feel bad if you're 13 months postpartum and you feeling the baby blues, or you're feeling postpartum anxiety and all these other things. That can definitely happen. Postpartum is not 0 to 6 weeks, 0 to 6 months. No. It is more than just 1 year. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. You cannot tell me different. Seriously. Yo, period. Oh my gosh. Well, let me not complain. Let me say thank you, God, because mine wasn't as bad as it could be. But that first postpartum period. Let's talk about myths. People say, oh, if you're breastfeeding and you're pumping and stuff like that, then your period won't come. Lies. That's a lie. That's a lie. My period came back, I want to say I was maybe 5.5 months postpartum. I was still pumping on a consistent schedule. I saw something about like if you don't pump like one time off schedule, all it takes is for one egg to drop or something like that, and your period could start. So it could take anything to set that off for your period to start. My period came back like 5.5 months postpartum, and thank God my cramps and everything weren't too bad, and knock on wood, my cramps are a little bit better than they were before I had him. I'm scared to say it, man. I'm scared to say it. I don't want to jinx myself. But the flow and the intensity of the cycle, I was not ready for. I was like, oh my goodness. I never knew that was a thing. I knew it came back, but nobody told me that it came back with a vengeance. Like, how dare you get rid of me for 9 months? What the actual heck were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like, I did not expect that at all. So definitely have yourself ready, have your heating pads ready, have everything ready, have all those things ready, because I was not fully prepared on how the Red Sea was finna come back flowing. Yeah, I said, whoa, pause. Also, even when it comes back, it's not, I won't say not back permanently. It's not going to be, or sometimes it won't always be like on the dot every time like it was before, because it's still trying to re-regulate itself. So that's something that kind of caught me off guard too. Postpartum care for those 0 to 6 weeks. If you are someone who has to have a C-section, get them heating pads ready, get them ice packs ready, like all the things. I did not know how sore and tender that area was going to be. Oh, I've never had major surgery before. So get all those things ready. There's something called desensitizing the scar. Look up videos on desensitizing the scar. That's what I had to do to my scar to make it not hurt as bad and not be as tender. Sometimes it's still a little tender. Sometimes I still can't wear like panties that is going to sit right there where my scar is, because it still is a little bit uncomfortable. But the heating pads was definitely my best friend. Those first couple of weeks or so or whatever, I want to say maybe like the first month. I'm not gonna lie to you. And with the C-section, sometimes you can still see things that happen with postpartum preeclampsia with having the C-section. I think the C-section and regular vaginal birth, I was not taking care of myself because I was so worried about SJ being in the hospital. So my feet, my fingers, my toes, everything was swelling because I was not hydrating. I was not elevating my feet and my legs like I was supposed to. So definitely take care of yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but please make sure you have some type of support so to where you can properly nurse yourself and take care of yourself after you just gave life. You just gave life. You need some TLC too, okay? And certainly but last but not least, marriage/relationships. Postpartum can definitely take a toll on your marriage. Oh my gosh. First of all, after having SJ, I did not want to be touched. Please get your hands off of me. Like, and I felt so bad. And of course, my husband was very supportive and very caring and patient and stuff like that. But I literally did not even, he would still want to hug me and kiss me, and I was still kind of like, meh. But like, I just was very overstimulated just by the whole experience that I was not ready to just be hugged at all or kissed or anything right away. And it definitely took me some time to want to get back into that. So it's very important that you listen closely. And I know things happen, but listen closely. If you don't listen to anything else I said in this video, listen closely. Listen closely. It is very super, super important to be careful who you choose to do life with and who you choose to have a child with, because how they're going to show up for you postpartum is going to be very, very, very telling. Very telling. And so it's important to have a partner or a spouse, someone who is going to be patient. That's the number one thing that you're going to need, patience. When I would have that postpartum rage and I would be ready to like snap and go off at the smallest stuff that whatever was happening, there was a few times I had to apologize to Sean and be like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And at one point I even explained to him, like, I'm sorry, I'm just so overstimulated. I am just very overstimulated. And not all the time people are able to verbalize exactly what's going on because they don't really know right away. So it definitely could have taken a toll. That's why some people break up after that first year or during that first year, because it can make or break. So you have to do this with someone who is going to be patient and be supportive, and be able to work with you equally to plan those dates, do those things to get out the house, and do those things that you did before your baby got there. Because when the babies leave the house, it's just y'all. It is simply just y'all. So what are you gonna do? This goes for postpartum. This goes for, you know, when your children are the whole time, the 0 through 18, 0 through 23. You have to make time for yourself as a couple and for your marriage, because your marriage, like I said, not all the cases, or you guys got together obviously before the baby came, whether that was got together seriously, got together not seriously. So that is very, very, very important. And like I said, the first year will definitely take a toll on your marriage if you let it, and if you don't take time to nurse it. And like I said, go on dates and do stuff for each other and take care of each other, if that makes sense. And I'm very, very blessed that we was able to stick it through. And everything that SJ was dealing with, I mean, we got a double whammy, like golly, like pow pow pow, boxing us. But we made it through, and that God. Anyway, I hope this video was very helpful for somebody who has never had a baby before, or if you have had a baby and you like, I didn't know these things first time around. You know, I just hope it was very helpful. These are the things that I learned during the first year of motherhood and during the first year of being postpartum, that I'm like, it would have been nice to know some of this. Give me a little heads up, something, you know, a little bit of a heads up. Because it definitely would have, you know, helped just a smidge. Like I said, even though some of it you kind of have to go through yourself, it definitely would have been a nice little heads up, instead of people just making it seem like pregnancy and after you have your baby is just the most beautiful thing and there's no hiccups along the way. If y'all would like more sit down videos, feel free to comment below. If you made it to the, what you want to say? What you want to say? If you made it to the end of this video, shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. He don't even want to be near me. Like, he be so ready to get off the couch. Really? I love you. Alright, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video.